Hello, hello, everybody, and welcome to today's Alkalized to Realized talk show. Today, I am having the fortune of being joined by a very special friend, very special guest of mine that I've actually gotten to know from a Breatharian initiation workshop, and it's been like 7 months now since then, and I'm joined by my beautiful friend Tiina, who
Hello.
reminds. Yeah.
Hello, I'm grateful to connect with everyone out there watching this.
That's beautiful. Awesome. I'm very happy to have you here. So Tina,
Thank
what I noticed from you, ever since we met each other, you were just so like natural and like very good energy, happy, like a little child. And
you.
so as you can see.
Playing with the universe.
Yes, you are the universe. Yes.
You are the universe. We are.
Yes,
We
so true. It's all happening here, inside the mind, playing on Mother Earth.
are. Exactly.
Yes. So what I'm really curious about you, Tina, because I think you're 18 years old, right?
I'm
You're
19.
19. God damn it.
Oh, I was born 2000. 9th of August 2000.
Wow, that's a very good day, actually. Like
Yeah,
etymology
nine
and
is my phone number.
yeah. So what I'm really curious about, you're 19 years old. You seem like, you're very young and you're just so like good high on energy. And so what got you into the position that you find yourself in right now? Like from you
Hmm.
started and to the point you got here now.
Yeah, it's been a journey, like a long journey already before this lifetime. I feel I'm physically young, but somehow I don't really feel young. Like I feel young in that way that you said that it's like this child like state of being where you're just joyful and playing with the universe, like this kind of yeah, playfulness. It's not so serious.
Hmm.
But in a way I feel very old. Like somehow this state that I'm in, like because I feel like I'm observing. I'm in this observer mode
Hmm.
and I'm looking at this reality. I feel old. I feel so
Yeah, it can seem like a quite long journey, when you get into the state of being able to observe the world without, actually reacting to it.
ah yeah. I mean it's the moment you let go of that only like that ego perspective. And that like that was always kind of I mean, it felt kind of natural for me when when I was young, like a child.
Yeah.
I never really saw any point in, let's say, arguing or in any of this too much like drama. I mean, I was a bit like, oh, why? Like not like I sure I had like because I was taught to identify as Tiina, like live in this ego perspective.
Yeah.
I was more there in my early like teenage years, but yeah, it was like 2014 spring when I
Yeah.
feel that just it kind of exploded for me for the first time. I feel like I saw these glimpses
Hmm.
of this like higher perspective. I was on the plane, I was looking down at the earth, and I just feel like, ah, I grasped this. It's a game. It's so small. This planet is so small. These stories that we are living here are so small. These beings that we are experiencing through are so tiny, little beings in space. Like just in general, looking from this higher perspective. like seeing wider in everything. And I mean, that's kind of when I feel like I took a step back. Like, yes, I'm still experiencing reality through Tiina, but I'm kind of the observer. I mean, I'm experiencing, but I'm the observer, like looking at this movie, the observer that's not affected by anything that happens here. Like, anything can happen here, but nothing can ever truly hurt me. Nothing can ever truly affect me. Like, this kind of, yeah, feeling like I am the player, not
Yes.
just the character. And when you are in that state, you no longer, you no longer identify just as this character, and all this ego trauma feels so silly. It's like, why? Like, why would I like use my energy in that kind of silliness? Like, it's such a different experience to be identifying as the ego character only, because then everything feels more serious. Like, you don't see the bigger picture. It's a smaller perspective, smaller frame of experience. And when you are in that frame of experience, like, sure, things feel big, things feel
very,
because you feel small. That's the thing. If you feel
exactly
small, sure, everything outside of you feels big, and you feel so like all trauma, whatever that happens in your life, it's like it feels so serious, it feels so big. But when you are yourself in this bigger, greater perspective, higher perspective, everything feels small. That's the reality I live in these days. I feel like this world is so small, this experience is so small, and that way you get this lightness in your existence. Like, it's not, you're like following the universe, and it's not so serious. But it was 2014 for me when I feel like that first shift kind of happened in my perspective. And the year after that, 2015, that was when I feel like it completely exploded for me. Like, this divinity, this experience of oneness. Like, I feel the first time I channeled my higher self, like, I felt this information just come through me. That was 2014. And the first time I feel like I experienced full-blown Kundalini awakening and this expansion in my state of consciousness was 2015 spring. That was like my whole experience just shifted in an unimaginable way. And to that previous Tiina, that was kind of like, that was so, like, in a way unbelievable. But it felt like that Tiina was gone. It felt like some new consciousness entered my body. Like, my body just, like, all of a sudden, I'm in this moment, I'm opening my eyes and I see it all. Like, there is no veil anymore. And this Tiina part of me is kind of gone. I feel like my higher self is in my body, and I feel this like oneness consciousness. And it was a huge shift. Like, this, like, this sensitivity, I feel, was kind of a huge part of it. Like, feeling like I'm getting so high, so light, and I just want to cry. Like, my heart is so open. Like, feeling this connection with everything. I feel before, when I didn't feel this connection with everything, was because I wasn't in my heart in the same way. I wasn't connected to myself. And when I wasn't connected to myself, I couldn't be connected to anything else either, because I was just in the mind. But yeah, it shifted, like feeling this divinity. And sure, up there in that amount of sensitivity, I mean, I felt much more contrast with this world and with this society and with just other like lower energies, and it becomes a bit harder to be in this world. Or it felt like that, like it felt like this is so dirty, this world. Or feeling like when you are high and light like that, it's like you are in this divine purity, and and like there's all this lower energy, and you just you don't really want to interact with that. Or it feels like yeah, so much contrast. Like when there is too much contrast, it's easy to feel this kind of anxiety about the world. But it's also like, I mean, because the first times I experienced the heights, it was so overwhelming in a way.
Yes.
And that's like why it felt so kind of difficult to be here. I mean, sure, you feel this ease and flow, but then you feel like you're alone there. But like, I feel like during these years, I have kind of grounded myself in these higher vibrations in a way that it's my natural state. I mean, it is the natural state.
Yes.
And it's, yeah, feeling more balanced there, a lot more balanced. Like it's not this overwhelming high that just fades away slowly, but it's more like this natural state where you are all the time. You are in divinity, in Christ's consciousness. You are in oneness. You see yourself in everything, in everyone, and you live from that state of consciousness. It's no longer just a state that you access once in a while. It's a state where you are constantly. And I feel that's like a shift, because I mean, I would like I feel like I had this transition period for some years in my life where I feel like I was going into the high states of consciousness, but I was still also kind of coming down to the ego, like going up there and coming a bit lower again. But now I feel like it's been a lot of, in a way, integration work, like integrating those other like human aspects of me, like yeah, bringing light to the shadows. Yeah. And I'm grateful to be at this point, but I see that it's a journey, and it's still like I'm on this journey. Like there's always more. Like this humanity thing is so kind of extreme in a way, or challenging in a way.
Yeah.
There's always more work to do. More.
Of course.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess that's the thing. Like it's a game, and we are not like, or I mean, yeah, there's always more.
Yeah, it's like a never-ending journey, and you just, no matter what you do, it's just gonna go on. It's like a tunnel, you just go through it, and the world is what we make out of it, like what we make out of it in here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, just relying on your power and trusting yourself, like that's the thing, like trusting your power over like any old programming or any of that, like always being there for yourself, like trusting yourself, trusting your power. I feel like I'm constantly being tested kind of by the youth. Like, am I like really relying on my power? Am I truly like connected? Am I truly like trusting this wisdom and divinity in myself, or am I like still running some old programs? Like it's this, yeah, like situations just come up where, I mean, you like, yeah, you're kind of being asked to, like, yeah, either like trust yourself or go back to the old. And when you are conscious, you can make conscious choices and like consciously stay in your
Yes.
power.
Yes.
Stay in your power, because I feel like it's this unconsciousness, this brain fog, this kind of not being in clarity that makes people follow just the old programs all the time, again and again and again, running the same shows again and again and again. But I
Yeah.
feel like the clarity is the great word here. Like it's a thing. When you are in clarity, when you are in this clarity of mind, it's so clear. Clarity.
Yes.
Like you actually can make conscious choices. You actually can manifest consciously. You can like live this reality, create this reality consciously, and always choose your power consciously. Like choose to connect and trust your true self, because it's like, I mean, I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, and that's my main priority, like every single day, that I am in clarity, that I am in this like lightness and high vibration, because when I am in high vibration, I am in a high state of consciousness.
Yes.
And from there, I mean, I can be the conscious player, like I can live the reality that I want to live. I'm not in the victim state. I'm not in blindness or unconsciousness. And yeah, it is truly a clarity game, because I feel like
Yes.
everything or so many things are just kind of distracting us, taking us outside, like
Yes.
taking us further from our power.
Yes.
But I feel, yeah, being present, being connected, being in clarity, those are the keys. And it's like the biggest priority, because when you are in high vibration, I mean, I feel everything else is kind of a byproduct. Like everything goes just smoothly, everything goes fine when you are high and when you are in clarity. But if you're low, if you are in this brain fog, everything is so complicated and difficult and heavy and slow, and it's such a different reality experience. But there are so many different realities we can experience here.
Absolutely. An infinite amount of possibilities, and I totally agree with you upon it. Like, it's for me as well, like the lighter I become, the more stuff and things, materials and thoughts that I let go of, and just being
Yeah,
present in the present moment with myself. It just flows naturally.
it's so damn natural.
Yeah,
That's what people often forget when they are so used to living in this whatever mental
yeah,
state, ego, and everything is so kind of complicated and whatever. But the natural state is just
yeah,
being. It's easier than anything.
yes,
It's easier than being someone in this ego
yeah,
perspective. Just surrender. You just are. You
yes.
are you.
You are perfect exactly as you are. And
Yeah.
also, I just feel so connected, or like I don't really like the idea behind, preparing. Like I would rather live in the present moment rather than figuring out,
Flowing.
what?
Flowing.
Flowing, exactly. Flowing down the river like a stream, around
Yeah.
all obstacles and corners, and you just flow. And
Exactly.
it just
Exactly.
it just
That's the
re-
thing.
yeah, it just removes
Literally.
like fear, worry,
Mm,
doubts, and you can just be.
yeah.
You're going to say?
Yes, because that's the new reality, living in the moment, living in
Yeah.
the present moment. Because when we were in that ego 3D reality. We were constantly living in the past or living in the future,
Yeah.
but in your heart, in this higher consciousness, like you are in the now.
Yes.
The only way to connect with your divinity, to feel this oneness, is in the now. All there truly is the now.
Yeah.
And that's bliss.
Exactly. Because we can put our attention to the past and the future, but it's not there. All that matters is what happens right here, what we are doing in this
Exactly.
moment together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. So beautiful.
Thank you. This is beautiful.
Yes. Just letting it flow, letting it out, and
Yes.
yes,
Flowing with the universe.
exactly. And even we can enjoy, small moments like this. It's like there's no like obligation to like entertain, to like say something, and there can be small pauses and breaks. You can just
Exactly. It's this, I mean, I feel like the reason why many people are so kind of caught up in the ego realities is because they're so stressed. Like when you are
yeah,
stressed, you're like kind of pushed to be in the ego, to be in separation, because you're in a survival state. Like you're just constantly like, I mean, without even realizing it, because probably you lived your whole life, but like you're like pushed to separation. You don't feel oneness when you are stressed. And I mean, even being super distracted all the time with all like social media and whatever like outer stuff, you
yes,
are stressed in that state. You are not in the moment in the same way. And I mean, that's why like many people are so dependent on distractions all the time. They're even like kind of afraid of silence and stillness and just being,
yeah,
because I mean, they're not familiar with that. And it takes a different brainwave state. That's a lot what it comes
yes,
down to. Like, people are constantly in this like beta brainwave state, like rational thinking all the time. But that's not where you connect with your divinity. You
no,
connect with your divinity when you are in this peaceful, like theta, alpha, like this, oh, present moment. No,
yes, yes. So let's
nothing
say
you need to be, nothing you need to do. You can just
no,
be. You can just breathe. Just
yes,
breathe. That's what we're doing all the time, but few of us do it consciously. But when we just connect with our breath, we are first kind of connect with the present moment, because we can only breathe in the present moment.
yes. Being able to just observe the sensations within the body rather than reacting to it. And that's also what
Exactly.
I find so liberating and enlightening, in my daily life. This is just
Mm,
being present moment. You just observe it, you don't react. And
yes,
yeah.
exactly.
Just because we have like ups and downs, and
Mm,
usually for a very long time I have been judging myself for it, judging myself when I
mm,
get into the
mm.
downside, when we can just be with it, be grateful for exactly where we are in this moment, and instead of running this negative self-talk within, because we are like energy transmitters and receivers. So
We
anything we
are
put out there, we are putting into our own body. It's a manifestation of energy.
so true.
So let's
So,
say, yeah. So let's say you were with what you know right now, like,
mm,
and let's say you had to start all over again, like
yeah.
to get into this peaceful state, because I think there's a lot of people out there, they are having, it's very difficult for them to reach into this state of being. Like, what would you recommend them to do, or what would you do?
You mean like after you have already awakened or before you have like awakened?
Well,
Like, Yeah.
Yeah, you know, you are very awakened right now. So let's say if you were to start all over with what you know right now, what would you do differently than when you started?
Hmm. That's a good question because I feel like everything kind of just happened. Like
Yeah.
I didn't pursue enlightenment. I didn't try to experience enlightenment. I didn't try to like awaken. It just happened. But maybe like, hmm. I mean, I think the big thing is not to think too much, but to
Yes.
trust the experience. Like not
Yes.
try to experience something, not try to like, okay, I have to awaken now. I have to be this super ascended master.
Exactly.
Like you gotta let go of the attachment to the outcome. Like you gotta let
Yes.
go of needing to experience something, like accepting everything, accepting every step on the path, even the contrast that you're experiencing. Like that's the thing, like many people resist the contrast, they resist the lows, like you said, like criticizing yourself or feeling the lows, but
Yeah.
it's part of the journey and it's okay. It's showing you the other side of things. It's showing you, it's teaching you,
Yes.
and respecting that and looking like observing that, exactly, like observing it and not identifying too much with anything you experience, but rather like learning, learning. We are learning here. And yeah, kind of just trusting the journey and trusting yourself, because there's nothing you should experience or nothing you should be or nothing like that should happen now. It's more like just surrendering to the path.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't really know what I would do differently. Because I feel, I mean, well, definitely when I think back, it could have been like easier if I just didn't like, like, because I feel for me, there were like times when I was more asleep even after my awakening, because I was like, let's say, well, I was in high school, I was in the system, and it's all about what parts of your brain you are like activating. And there I had to activate this rational mind like so much that I was kind of more in the ego. But I mean, still at the background, there was this, like what I have seen, because there, you can't unsee what you have seen. And
Exactly.
it was there, but I wasn't really living in that state of consciousness in the same way. So, I mean, I feel if I would want that, my journey would have been like more like just, without going into the ego again, like I would have prioritized this like higher, like, I mean, I prioritized it, but then I kind of, yeah, I just couldn't hold that, because the thing is, when you awaken, you have to kind of change your whole reality. You can't go back to your previous reality. You can't really go back to your previous ways, like how you used to deal about things, how you
Yeah.
used to live. Because that's kind of a trap, because that's so easy to kind of fall back into the old timeline.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not saying that it has to go like that. That sure, like sure, if you are holding on to this higher consciousness, you're seeing everything with new eyes. You're going through your day with new eyes. But you have to kind of prioritize that, because I feel it's a constant game of consciousness, a constant game. Like, because we're experiencing or we are confronting so much like lower vibrational realities here, and it's kind of easy to, yeah, absorb that energy a bit, or like experience that or those vibrational realities. Like it's like you gotta prioritize your energies and not be like affected by everything you meet in the outer world, because yeah, then you will experience like whatever you confront or encounter. Like I feel that's the thing, like I could have, let's say, protected my energies more, because I mean I was still kind of because it was such a huge contrast between like that reality that I had lived in before, and let's say like the reality that if you go to school is such a different reality than when you are
Yeah.
like meditating and in this divinity and higher consciousness. And I feel, yeah, like you gotta create your reality matching your like this new vibration, like this new reality. You gotta create a
Yes.
new reality for the new you. You can't be really the new you in your old version's reality. And I mean that's kind of what's challenging about this, because it's not like, because it's a huge shift. I feel like spiritual awakening is like the biggest change you can experience in your
Yes.
life, and it's also probably the most like beautiful thing that you can experience. But you just, yeah, it's gonna like change everything, and you gotta be ready for the change. Otherwise you might like go back to the old
Yeah.
timeline again.
Yeah. To rest and accept and allow it to happen and to flow, and also
Yeah,
to be open, like it's okay, to go back a little bit, because you can always, go back if you want to, because that's what I've been experiencing
yeah,
along my journey. Like for me,
yeah,
my because what you're saying, like, it's so awesome that, it's actually possible to like liberate and become awakened, even though that we are not using psychedelics, because that's what I used to really like put off,
awake,
yeah,
yeah.
to really put off this box that we put ourselves in, that so we
It's
perceive
about
ourselves,
you now.
yeah, like when we are putting ourselves in this identity, we are putting ourselves in a box that, oh, I am this, I am that, and
Yeah,
if I stick out of
identification.
it, what? Yeah,
That's your frame within which you're
yeah,
experiencing reality. But you
yeah,
created that frame, and you
yes,
don't need to be in that frame. Like you can remove it, then you see behind the veil, you see it all. And yeah, I didn't use psychedelics to awaken, but I
mm,
think one big thing that led to my full-blown Kundalini awakening was
yeah,
raw food. I went
raw food.
fully on raw foods. Like I was eating like, yeah, only raw foods, like some fruits
Oh,
and a lot of greens and all this very, very high vibrational nourishment, because I feel it,
okay,
I mean, I feel that was what led to my like vibration raising so high.
yes, yes,
And that's the thing, like what's your vibration is your state of consciousness. Like when you are super, super high in your vibrational state, in your body, like it's all about the vibrations you're holding in your body. Like that's what you're receiving. Like you said, like we're walking receivers. Like you receive this higher consciousness, you receive these downloads when you're vibrating high. If you're vibrating low, you're receiving low vibrational thoughts and you're experiencing a low vibrational reality. But it's all about your vibration, and that's why the biggest thing you're gonna ever prioritize in your whole life is your vibrational state. That's what
yes,
matters the most.
yes,
That's what creates your reality experience.
yes. Raising our energy, frequency, and vibration, oxygenating body, providing it with living foods, as you say, raw foods like fruits and veggies. So
Yeah.
when you went from the old kind of diet to the raw diet, were there like anything in terms of your health that you noticed were changing, or did you experience some healing detox symptoms?
Oh, yes, yes, yes. I mean, the reason why I even went on raw foods was I mean, there were a few reasons, but I mean, I wanted to be the healthiest version that I could ever be. Like, I wanted to eat the healthiest diet that there is out
Yeah.
there. And that's why I went on raw foods. And I mean, yes, I feel like my health improved overall. Like I would feel much more energy, and I would feel like this lightness, like that I could like feel super light even after like eating, and super energized. Like my energy levels got very high.
Okay.
And yeah, and I mean, I just felt better in general. I mean, yeah, I mean, I always said that, yeah, raw foods healed me. Well, back then they healed me, but I think the biggest way that they healed me was psychological, because my thinking changed. Like I went from being, because before I awakened, I was in this mental hell a bit, because I
Yeah.
was in the restricted, like, where I was in this kind of, yeah, like crazy self-criticism, like all this ego suffering going on.
Yes.
And and then raw foods just awakened me. Like all of a sudden I'm loving myself. I am
Yes.
experiencing this, like yeah, love that I hadn't experienced before, and acceptance that I haven't experienced before. And I feel like that was the biggest way they healed me. They healed my, like, the thoughts that I'm thinking, like the
Yes.
reality. Oh, just this kind of liberation and heaven. I went from hell to heaven.
Wow. That's really powerful, and there's a lot of people that will benefit from just this, like, because that's the
Raw
same.
foods, like, oh, like honestly, if you suffer from depression or any, like, whatever, like, if you just feel low energy, or
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
try raw foods. I can't think of anything that makes me happier like so fast. Like,
Hmm.
or I mean, I remember, like, it's just this, all of a sudden you feel like insanely happy and blissful.
I totally agree with you as well. For me, along my journey, like when as I was transitioning from the old kind of Western diet with meat and stuff like that over to a raw diet, as I progressed into it, as well as doing some juice fasting and dry fasting, really like cleaning my
Yeah,
intestines, my gut, like
that's huge.
that's really huge, because that's where I feel like I was getting a lot more peaceful up here, and not getting into this
Totally.
low vibration energy, because the animals, they're raised in like it's cruel, like
I know.
surroundings, and they're locked in, and they are being treated very poorly, badly.
And
So it's
think
like,
that you're carrying that inside your body, like
yeah,
that, all that fear and suffering, and
yeah. The fear, and that's a
no,
very good point. The fear and suffering from the animals, because what I've come to find along my journey is that our gut and our brain is directly connected. So we're like a computer, and what we are downloading through our mouth is what we become.
exactly. There, you
Yeah.
said it. Exactly. That's so true. And I mean, I feel the reason, I mean, I think what you have in your body, what you eat, is like one of the biggest factors that determine your state of consciousness.
Yes.
Because for me, I feel one big reason why I always feel I was in a sort of high state of consciousness, even like as a kid, was because I was always vegetarian. I was always
Oh,
eating healthy. And I
yeah.
was always like, yeah, ever since I was like, I remember like 4 years old, I just said to my mom, I don't want to eat animals.
Hmm.
And she accepted that, which I'm very, very grateful for.
Yeah.
Like, my parents didn't force me to eat meat ever, and I'm so happy about that.
Hmm.
But like, that's the thing. Like, I think you're literally eating fear. You're eating low consciousness if you're eating
Yes.
animal.
Yes. Definitely.
Like, yeah,
Because
yes.
I have had a lot of anxiety as well throughout my life. And I think
Mhm.
my journey really started like, 1.5 years ago, changing my diet, changing my lifestyle. doing
Yeah,
sun gazing and sunbathing, and really just getting in tune with myself, and
yes,
also acknowledging that everything that happens is an inside game, and how you react to the outside world. And just by being in the
exactly.
present moment, you can just liberate yourself from everything. And so, for instance, like today, like I rarely have any anxiety at all, and I have been one of the most anxious like people out there. Just being scared to talk to
Yeah.
people, talk to just girls or whatever, because we depending on
Mm,
how we perceive ourselves.
exactly, exactly. And I mean, yeah, I feel like it's such a huge thing, like what you carry in your intestines, because I feel that's where anxiety comes from. I feel like I only ever felt anxiety because
Yeah,
of what's going on here. If I'm like empty, if I'm not carrying anything, I'm never anxious. Like if I'm like clean, there is no anxiety. That's not like a possible combination,
yeah,
because I feel like first of all, I'm able to hold much more prana, and I'm able to hold a higher consciousness. It's
yes,
crazy. I never, like, before, when I was eating every day, I didn't know what it feels like to be clean, because I never experienced that.
yeah,
And then, like, through all this breatharianism and pranic lifestyle, it's like, ah, another reality explosion. I never knew how light I could feel, how much like it's just like an instant like higher state of consciousness when you are clean.
yes,
Cleanliness is godliness.
yes. The cleaner
It,
we are, the better we
yes,
feel.
exactly, exactly. Divinity is purity. Purity is divinity.
And it's
And
only
I
some.
never knew that before when I hadn't like experienced that. Like, because in in this world, like, it's a norm to be like a crazy truck user. Truck being like all garbage food, like all like, I
Yeah,
mean, it's so far away. It's super hard for me to imagine that these days. But I mean, it's still reality for many people, and they don't know what it feels like to be in
no,
this purity and lightness and godliness.
yeah. The greatest teacher of all is not by listening to others, it's actually putting in the work to experience it for yourself. Otherwise, you will
Experiencing
never
yourself.
find.
Yes, yes, definitely. You can
Yeah,
know stuff, you can think of stuff rationally, but it's never like the true knowledge. Like you can't, like, if you don't experience it, you can't really grasp it. Especially stuff like high vibration and divinity and all of this. You can think of it, but it's not enough. You have to be in that state. And I mean, the
yeah,
biggest reason why this purity, like being in this lightness and cleanliness, is like divinity, is because it raises your vibration. When you're not holding like stuff in your body, when you're not like especially holding like animal products and all this like heavy stuff in your vessel, your
yeah,
vibration raises so high and you are in a high state of consciousness. And that is the reason why I experienced enlightenment when I was on raw food. Because
yeah,
my vibration, my body's vibration raised so high. Like, that's the thing. That's when you vibrate high, you are in a high state of consciousness. That's it.
yeah.
Clarity.
Yes, yes. And I'm so grateful to have met you, because you have been a huge support for me along my journey ever since we had the Breatharian initiation workshop with
Yeah.
Raymond in the UK.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
through your, for instance, your YouTube channel, and you have some, yeah, a lot of great videos, but you also have like a very awesome music playlist that I've been listening to a lot, and just
That's
playing with the energy within me. So what
mm,
would what would you recommend to people out there in terms of, you know, raising our energy, frequency, or vibration? Like, what is your greatest advices?
You just said that
Yeah,
music.
yeah,
It's like my instant way to get high is through music. Like
yeah,
certain like you can link that playlist that I have. Get high,
sure.
baby, get high. That that like really like the song of the 144,000 is like my go to heaven. Like so fast, so high into this cosmic consciousness.
Yeah, it really,
Like music is amazing, but like one huge factor again, your vibration in your physical body.
yeah,
Being like being light and like either eating like raw foods or like juices or something very very light, or like just fully like being empty and not consuming anything, you can access this natural like high vibrational state, hold much more prana in you. And that's like, I mean, that's the thing, like you gotta vibrate high in order to, yeah, hold higher consciousness. And I mean, even like although the music can raise your frequency, and it always does for me, it's hard if you are very very far from that in your state of like physical, like how you feel in your physical body. Sometimes it's hard to listen to those kind of songs because it doesn't resonate with you in that moment. But you
yeah,
gotta like
yeah,
surrender to that. You gotta like allow that kind of to tune your vibes, like kind of like,
yeah,
yeah, harmonize yourself with that music. But two biggest things: your vibrational state in your physical body. Like I mean that's kind of the biggest thing. And
yes,
you can change that with music, with like being out in nature, like where you are, what you surround yourself with, and what you do, and of course like what you consume. That's probably the biggest one.
absolutely, absolutely. Because it
Yeah.
changes, it alters like our energy and our frequency, whatever we put in, it alters like that with a snap of a finger. Of course, there's if you've been
Mhm.
living an old lifestyle, you know, with dense food and stuff, you know, it takes time to, you know, process and get it out through the body. But what
Oh
I
yeah.
have, like, I have noticed, like, on my journey, ever since we did the birthday initiation workshop, doing the juice diet, liquid diet, it's like
Yeah.
the energy just gets insanely high. Of course, it's a transition, and you might look like shit because we have been eating a lot of shit, like a lot of people throughout our lives. So
Yeah.
that's kind of like what manifests temporarily. But when we get past that stage, we're just gonna
Mm,
glow.
so true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I mean, it's so unimaginable to those past versions of yourself, like
Yes.
that high energy and that like life energy.
Yeah.
So different, such a different experience, a
Yes.
very different experience in your physical body. Like I didn't, like before, I feel like I didn't know how good I could feel in this physical body. But now when I am in that high state, I don't almost feel this body. Like this body feels the same as in my other like let's say in the astral realm. Like if I'm there, my body, I don't feel my body in the same way. It's so super
No.
light.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like in this physical body, it's just so light. I don't really feel it. I don't even recognize that I'm in a physical body because it feels so light. It feels
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah. And also a thing that I really want to like highlight, you know, along this, you know, journey of raising an energy, frequency, vibration, and we have this like desire of being somewhere else than where we are
Oh
currently. So I have been running a lot into that, and that's basically, you know, judgment. You know, oh no, I want to feel high, I want to feel good, high on energy and
yeah.
stuff like that. But
Mm,
usually, it's just funny because whenever I just go into the state of like just pure acceptance and just being grateful for where I am, everything just flows. And even like
exactly. That's
if
the
you're
key.
Exactly. And during my last interview, I have been like, eating some foods that, is not really like high good vibrationally. Uh, Something I feel. But I just surrendered. And
Okay,
and
it's
then
an
the
experience.
yeah, and the feedback was amazing.
And it's teaching you, like it's showing you, like sometimes we gotta remind ourselves, we gotta experience the contrast in order to remember like how much we appreciate this lightness and how much we appreciate this like higher vibration. If we don't
Yeah.
remember the contrast, it's easy to get seduced by like lower vibrational foods and lower vibrational things.
Yeah.
So sometimes we need these reminders.
Yes, yes. The kind of like, the duality, dark and light, they have to like, mix together before we can reach the state of just, pure bliss, love and light. It's by facing the
Mm,
challenges on the inside and heal every
exactly.
single aspect of it and realize we are the universe and
Mm,
our energy can
yes.
change the world in so many ways that we cannot believe. And you are a big, you are a big part of my journey. So
I'm grateful to hear that.
yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
before, yeah, you
Yeah,
have
just
some.
say
Yeah. So before, like we are, ending this interview, I don't know. Do you have anything on your heart that you would like to shine and glow to the universe?
yeah, just saying that all experiences are okay. Like you said, like they're
Yes.
are experiencing a lot of shades, a lot of different realities, a lot of contrast. Like this planet is the plane of like contrast, so much contrast. And that's why it's so easy to kind of get lost here because we can experience such different states of consciousness and vibrational realities. But like accepting all experiences because from the higher perspective, yeah, it's all perfect. It's all okay. It's
Yes.
all okay,
Yes.
always. No matter what you experience, like from the higher perspective, it's okay. Like
Yes.
wake up from this dream. It's just a dream. Like
Yes.
you see it all. Like it's a story. This is like a movie, one movie, and truly you're always like unaffected. Like you're the observer. You're watching this movie and no matter how much like awful stuff you experience here, how much contrast you experience here, nothing can truly hurt you. Nothing can truly like, I mean, you are always unaffected. You're always like
Yes.
fine. Like it's not
Yes.
it's not real. It feels real.
Exactly.
It's an experience. It's a movie, but it's like it's just a dream.
That's very powerful, and that's very good what you're saying right there. Because the eyes is kind of like the glass
Mm.
or the screen, and so
Yes.
whatever happens inside, we are completely responsible for that.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, I often feel like my eyes are like windows that I'm looking through into this realm, into this
Yes.
plane of existence. Like I feel like I'm just behind there observing it. I'm completely safe all the time,
Hmm.
always safe, no matter what happens. And also, when
Yes.
you are in that vibration, in that love vibration, when you are in your power, you are safe. You
Yes.
are safe. You are safe. You hold the greatest power in the universe. When you're in your heart, when you're connected, when
Hmm.
you are connected to source, when you are in this love vibration, you're holding the greatest power in the universe. And when you are living in that state, like there is nothing to be afraid of ever. You recognize it. There's nothing to be afraid of ever.
Yeah. The world explodes,
Yeah.
and unfolds into infinite amount of possibilities of what we can actually experience while we're on this
Exactly,
plane.
because you're no longer restricting yourself. Like there's a million possibilities in every moment. And you can actually consciously tune yourself. Like access different timelines that you want to access, that you choose to access, because you realize that there's nothing really limiting yourself. You are limitless. You are
Yes.
limitless.
Yes.
You are
Limitless. That's what we are. And that's what we have to realize. Yes.
limitless.
So
It's our,
Tiina, yeah.
yes, Niels.
So before we finish this, do you have a platform like a website, a YouTube channel, anything, anywhere, any place people can find you?
My YouTube channel. I welcome everyone on my YouTube channel. My human girl.
My
Maybe
human
you can put
girl.
that link. Yeah. My YouTube channel is my main platform at this moment. And also Instagram. I mean, I share on Instagram and on YouTube the most. So maybe you can put the links below.
Definitely, for sure. I will do that. That's very great. So
Yeah.
it's been
Thank you.
very, you were saying?
Thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And I'm so grateful for you to be here on with me, and let's shed some light.
So am I.
See you soon, Tiina.
See you soon, Niels. Lots of love and light. Namaste.
Namaste.